Hi, my name is Varava, and today we're talking about phonetics and its main branches. First of all, phonetics is the main branch of linguistics, which study sounds, how sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived. Before diving into phonetics, let's differentiate phonetics and phonology. Phonetics focuses on the concrete physical ability of speech, how we are producing speech sounds, how we are perceiving it, how we are transmitting it, and all of this stuff is studied in phonetics, while phonology studies an abstract sound system of a language. So as you see, there is a huge difference. Phonetics is small and it studies concrete sounds and how we are producing it, how we are articulating this sound, while phonology studies a huge sound system of a particular language or maybe several languages as well. Now it's turned to branches, or let's say some categories of phonetics. We have three of them. First one is articulatory, then acoustic, and the last one is auditory. Point of view, for linguists, articulatory phonetics is the most important one. Now let's look and analyze acoustic phonetics. It's about physical properties of speech sound. After producing or articulating a sound, it travels through the air and goes to someone's mind. And this period when sounds are going through the air is studied mostly in acoustic phonetics. We have three main concepts of acoustic phonetics, which are frequency, amplitude, and spectrogram. If I say more properly, we are producing speech sounds, and each sound has its waves, and the rate of vibration is called frequency. And what is easier, which is amplitude. This is the intensity and the loudness of your sounds. The third one is spectrogram. Spectrogram is not just a concept itself, it is, let's say, a visual representation of a speech signals which shows both frequency, amplitude, and the time. So this was a quick description of a second type of phonetics, which is acoustic phonetics. Now it's turned to the third one, because before I said that the first one is large and we need to look at this more detailed version. That's why we are describing quickly second and the third types of phonetics, because they are not so difficult, not so complicated to understand. The third one is auditory phonetics. It studies how speech sounds are perceived by the listener. Also, it studies an anatomy and physiology of our ears and how the brain perceives an information through these sounds and signals and waves and all of this stuff. So it studies how we listen and understand. The most interesting thing is here the categorical perception. So I will explain it. Imagine that you are speaking with your friend and you are speaking, your friend is definitely listening. And when he is listening, there are huge processes going on actually. Adding several sounds to each other and making new words. Like this, it's going on and he's understanding what you are saying. So the huge process is going on. But at the same time, there might be some problems in this process. As when you are speaking too fast, you may produce some sounds on another way. So which means the waves are coming on another way and he may have some difficulties to understand what you are saying. For example, instead of sound K, you may produce sound G or something like this. And this is a categorical perception itself. Articulatory phonetics. All stuff which is studied in phonetics, in theoretical phonetics, and other phonetic classes at universities is mostly about articulatory phonetics, because all most important stuff is here in articulatory phonetics. So what is articulatory phonetics? It is how we are producing and articulating sound. You should divide into two big categories, which is description of a vowels and description of a consonant. We will start with definitely consonant sounds, because there is so much to say about consonant sounds. About vowel sounds we will speak later. We differentiate consonant sounds into three categories, which are voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. Voicing is so easy to understand. So when you produce a sound and whether this sound is voiced or voiceless. Here is a short table of a voiced and voiceless sounds. Second one is the place of articulation. Imagine that you have a huge and complicated system, and when you are saying something, when you are producing sounds, this system is working. And this system has various parts. For example, the sound P. We produce this sound with the help of our lips. which is exactly what I wanted to say. We have a huge system and we produce various types of sounds in different places in this system. So now let's look at this system. For a lot of people, understanding this place of articulation is very hard, but it's not so difficult. Place of articulation, which means from which place you are articulating the sound. For example, if you want to say sound le, you are using your tongue, which is exactly the place of articulation. So if you are asked to find a place of articulation of some sounds, you need to first of all articulate it, like produce it, like to say it, and then try to analyze which part of your whole mouth system you are using, whether it's tongue, lips, teeth, whatever. So this is our whole vocal tract. And when we analyze, we always start with glottis. So here we have a glottal part, and then we have a velar part, or sometimes we can call velum, and the next coming is palatal. Actually, both velar and palatal we call like a palate, and we divide into two. So this part is called a hard palate, and the velar part, also known as a velum, is called a soft palate. So you may say this one is as a soft palate and then a hard palate. And we have here a post-alveolar palate, which is area of the roof of the mouth which is located just behind the alveolar ridge. When you want to say vision, you are saying j sound. This sound is produced just exactly here, post-alveolar palate. And the next one is alveolar, the area behind the upper teeth. It may also like encompass the entire area from the alveolar ridge behind the upper teeth to the hard palate, like to this place, yes, and the roof of the mouth. The next one is bilabial part. It's when both of your lips are trying to produce a sound. For example, the place of articulation of the sound B is bilabial, because you are using both of your lips when you are producing this sound. Next one is labial dental, means like you are using both your lips and your teeth when you are producing a particular sound. So, and then intradental. Here you are not using your lips. Like the main difference of labiodental and intradental is that in the labiodental you are using both your lips and teeth, but in the intradental you are just using your tongue and teeth. So intradental sounds are made by placing tongue between the upper and the lower teeth, while labiodental sounds are produced by using the lower lip and the upper teeth. And this is a place of articulation. When you are producing a sound, what part of your vocal tract is working? So this is all about a place of articulation. The last one to talk about consonant sounds in articulatory phonetics is the manner of articulation. Now we will speak about manner of articulation. So the place of articulation, you are asking a question where, while for the manner of articulation you are asking a question how. And according to many articles which I read, there was written many manners of articulation, but a lot of scientists divided into these 5 categories, which are plosive, fricative, affricative, nasal, and approximal. For this special video, I found that for many linguists, it's so hard to identify and to analyze and to understand the difference between them, what is fricative, what is affricative after all, and etc. Therefore, now I'm going to give you a clear example for, let's call it a plumbing analogy. Imagine that you are a plumber controlling airflow coming from pipes. You may control it in the 5 different ways. Plosive, here you are completely stop the water flow with the valve, then you suddenly open it and the water bursts through. So for example, the sound P, you are closing and then immediately opening. The second one is the fricative. You partially block the pipe with a narrow nozzle. The water is here, still flows, but it's forced, in a small place, therefore it's creating somehow a hissing sound. That's like saying f, s, or sh. This sounds like exactly what I'm meaning. If you try to articulate these sounds, you will definitely understand exactly what I'm saying right now. Next one is affricative. The difference between fricatives and affricatives is that in fricative you like just a little opening it. If affricative is just a combination of previous two. both plosive and fricative, closing the doors and then immediately opening it, but through the narrow nostril. It's like doing both at once. For example, sound che. So you are first of all closing it and then opening it with the nostril. Our next manner of articulation is the nasal. Open the doors. Imagine that you are open the doors and the water flows, but not in an ordinary way. The water flows in totally other way, from your nose. For example, sounds like this kind of sounds goes from your nose, not from your mouth. And the last one is an approximant. You know, you are slightly narrowing the pipe, but the water still can flow easily. So if you want to pronounce W like W in this sound, this is a totally approximate because it's like slightly narrow, but still it's not so difficult to pronounce this sound. The flow is going pretty good. So this is all about manner of articulation, what I understood. This was an introduction to the phonetics and all about consonant sounds. In my next video, I'll be speaking about vowel sounds. Thank you. Bye.